So Freddie turned his back on America and set off to seek inspiration for his first solo album in Munich.
The German, yes.
He was fascinated with Germany at the time. He got to know the bars in Munich.
It was a wild city. There were lots of very campy people, and he fell into a new group of friends.
However, this time it wasn't a man with facial hair who was about to turn Freddie's head.
I heard that Freddie was with a woman, and so I thought, well, there you go. He's not predictable at all, is he, this boy?
The late, great Barbara Valentine was Germany's answer to Brigitte Bardot. She was to become the first female love interest in Freddie's life since Mary Austin.
I was told he just met this fantastic woman who was just larger than life.
Barbara was just voluptuous. God, I wanted her.
Barbara was very outrageous. She was the queen of Munich.
It was almost like he enjoyed being with somebody who had a wilder reputation than him.
Barbara loved him, Freddie loved her, and it was a big love between both.
I know they were in love. I mean, I know what my mother was in love with him, because she said so. I think their relationship was very close and very intense. They really liked the conflict. They were talking and shouting and arguing, and then they were in their arms again, and it was always very lively.
They had the most intense, loving relationship. I know 100% that they shared a bed on numerous occasions. But I wasn't sitting in the room. I cannot tell you yes or no. Sex happened. If it had, Freddie could not have been quiet about it.
If he wouldn't be homosexual, maybe they are married. It's maybe possible.
I think Freddie was the love of her life, yes.
Freddie penned a love song to the buxom Barbara and featured her in his most outrageous video to date.
The band hated it. I mean, if you look at the video, and you can see exactly what Roger is saying to John. You see the look, and it says, look at this fucking mess.
Brian and Roger and John just look lost in that video.
Even the usually compliant members of Queen weren't prepared to indulge all Freddie's fantasies.
We used to have these production meetings before large Queen tours. And Fred one day came in and was very enthusiastic. He said, darling, in my Fred, I've got this fabulous idea. I want to have a huge cock and balls, and I want to ride it on a wire from the back of Wembley Stadium over the head of the crowd, and the curtains open and there's a giant pair of lips, and the dick and balls go right into the lips. And everybody thought, this is it. This is going to be the greatest thing in the history of mankind. And he said, yes, and I want a huge mustache over the lips. And there was a long silence, and that's the last we ever heard of the Dickmobile.
Fortunately for Freddie, broad-minded Barbara, like Mary before her, was able to accept him for what he really was, and she was happy to play second fiddle when Freddie met 33-year-old Austrian restaurateur Winnie Kirchberger.
Winnie was built like a German tank.
He was muscular. Burt Reynolds type.
Winnie didn't speak a word of English. Freddie doesn't speak a word of German. There's only so much you can do with sign language.
I suppose Barbara Valentine must have been in between there, sort of translating.
Winnie provided Freddie with good sex, and he provided him with the fight. They had huge arguments. I mean, Munich knows about their arguments.
But even with Barbara's support, there was only so much of Winnie that Freddie could take.
He needed a fresh input, maybe a fresh lover.